Plenty of songs went into this project, of course, both new and some old ones, some that were written by us and some that weren't, but I think we had a really good collection of them. In fact, this might be my favorite project just based on the song selections that we put together.
So a typical day in the recording studio for this project was, step one, wake up. In this case, we're in a hotel room. Everyone's getting ready. Everyone's facing the madness of having to get to the recording studio on time so that we're there whenever the producers are there so we can get as most out of the day as we can. On the drive, you usually figure out what parts you're going to sing on which songs. Everybody's warming up their voices, clearing the bugs out, all kinds of fun stuff.
And in the morning, if you get there at around 9 o'clock, they might have a new thing. Actually, I wasn't aware these things existed. Now, they are a kind of an iteration on donuts. They're not exactly donuts. They look like crescent rolls that are filled with whatever kind of filling you can imagine.
Then it comes down to the breakdown. Where are we all going to be? Who's going to sing what song? Which one are we going to start with? What part is this person going to sing? And who's the first group that goes into the recording studio?
Which would be chocolate or apple or cherry or vanilla or really anything you can stuff into these crescent rolls that are then glazed over.
There's a producer's booth, which houses the producer, the engineer, and then anyone who's a bystander who's not on the current vocals of the song, who are just going to sit by, watch, give their input. And then behind a window of glass, you see everyone else in their own respective booths in a separate room. And they're the ones that are actually recording the vocals.
They are very good. In fact, I would highly recommend them. If you're ever down in that part of North Carolina, you should look up these glazed chocolate crescent rolls.
Each person in their own little booth with their own little headset and their own mic and their own little mixing so that they can adjust the volume of the other people singing. And then they're looking at everyone else in their own little booths. Kind of like an office space, but everyone's got a glass wall in between them. Everything's soundproof, so it's a little strange.
It can get weird sometimes, but each song goes for about 2 or so hours, depending on how well you know the song, and that's a whole nother process where you have to practice and practice and practice before you get into that studio. But if you know it pretty well, you'll lay down the vocals for it.
And those three people, they sing their parts, and then they sing them again, and then they sing them again so that we have plenty of good takes and so that everything's nice, everybody's voices come through nice and clear, and you have things to choose from. If they said this word wrong, if they didn't line up with that person the same way on this take as they did on that take, you can clip them all together and you can make something work. Then you rotate them out and you put the other 3 in or the other 4 in or however you want to do it.
Once that all wraps up and concludes, you're done. You've done all the vocals on it, and the day ends around, I'd say, 6 o'clock. And it's a very productive day. The best part, of course, being generally lunch, which occurs around, 1 o'clock.
Every now and then you'll run into a roadblock where we just aren't communicating right. Somebody keeps singing the wrong part on this line, and the other person, they're doubling parts, and they're not all the parts are there, and it just gets too confusing when you can't actually see each other and hear each other in the same room.
It really depends on what song you were doing. If you got it done quick enough, then you'll eat it 1. If you didn't, you might eat it 3. So that's a good incentive to get done with the stuff you're doing.
So we'll come out of the booths and we'll get around a piano, and our producer will play, and then we'll just sing, and everyone's singing, everyone's voice is there, you can hear what's going on, you adjust properly. In some cases, the producer will actually pick out the person's part on the piano, just hitting the notes for them so that they can nail it down in their head. Then we'll all go back into the booths and we'll get it right. And you'll sing it again, and you'll sing it again, so they have multiple takes, and repeat the process on more songs.
It varies from contemporary to a little bit of older style of Southern gospel to really all over the map on this one. So no matter what your taste is in music, I'm sure there will be something on there for you, which is absolutely a pretty good thing. It's always good to cover the bases on everything. I don't even know where I was going with that one.
Every project, every studio, how it works together is always going to be a little different than the time before, so you can't 100% settle into what you're doing. And pair that with the fact that all the songs are going to be different than you've ever done before. It's a new experience all around. And I feel like this one went particularly well. I really like the songs that we had a chance to record, to nail down, and to get out there for people to hear. They've got good messages. Even though the process of them is always a little different, the product can always be similar. The product can always be the same. And that is the best that we can possibly put out there. And we hope that's the case with this one as well.
Overall, I think all of the songs were really good on this album, and when they do come out, you guys will all get the chance to hear them, so I recommend the day of going out and however you listen to music, whether you stream it or whether you just purchase it, I would listen to it as quickly as possible. This could be so good, you just don't want to miss out on it.
There's a case of donuts sitting there on the piano to begin our day.